To say that Star Fox is going through a bit of a rough patch is, well, kind of an understatement. Fox itself is one of Nintendo's most well-known franchises, but the road to getting there hasn't always been easy, at least as of late. Star Fox started out on the Super Nintendo as a way to showcase the Super Nintendo's raw power, and it made sense too. I mean, the culture of gaming at the time was very arcade-focused, so bringing an on-the-rails shooter just made perfect sense. Star Fox did so well, in fact, that a sequel was warranted, but never got released due to timing issues. However, Starfox 64 was really a mainstay for that console, being one of the most selling games for the Nintendo 64, and really, catapulted Star Fox into the mainstream. But it wasn't until the inclusion in Super Smash Bros. That Fox was recognized more so as an icon. And really looking back at it now, the inclusion into Super Smash Bros. Was really important to keep Fox's legacy overall. Star Fox 64 was, again, a showcase of Nintendo's console's raw power. It was incredible to play, fluid controls, and awesome gameplay. And that's really where the Star Fox legacy came to a halt, at least for a little bit. Nintendo has released games like Star Fox Assault and Star Fox Adventures with mixed reception. Of course, Star Fox Adventures teetering on, is this really a Fox game? Is this really a Star Fox game? And Star Fox Assault, to some, including myself, being the pinnacle of this series. Getting off your R-Wing was a great transition into what Star Fox could become. Star Fox even made its way onto some of Nintendo's handheld consoles. Star Fox Command on the DS and Star Fox 3D on the 3DS was a great return to form, but fans wanted more. Fans wanted a console experience, and after missing the Wii generation altogether, fans were kind of left scratching their heads as to when Star Fox would return. Nintendo announced a brand new game called Starfox Zero for the Wii U, another showcase of hardware, but this time more so a forced gimmick onto fans. Starfox Zero started out as a promising game, but after some lackluster reviews, the conversation of Star Fox took a turn for the worst.
In my opinion, these controls ask too much of the player, to the point where it's just not fun at all, and more so becomes frustrating. Frustrating because when I die in this game, I always have the saying pop in my head, well, if this controlled like Star Fox 64...
And I spent about 15 minutes playing Starfox Zero on the Wii U at GameStop, and I thought it was going to give me the feel that I had when I was playing it as a kid on an N64, and it just didn't. It has lost its way.
This is the most startlingly unambitious Nintendo game I've ever played. There are so many other things they could have done to further the series, and they made no effort whatsoever.
Now, it was at this time that Star Fox really took a hit in terms of reputation and as a franchise itself. Should Star Fox exist in modern times? You have a on-the-rail shooter, certainly a genre that's kind of dated, and the last few Star Fox games haven't really progressed the franchise at all. I mean, you look at the past few games, it's been either a retelling or a reimagining of Star Fox 64. It's kind of like Nintendo can't let go of the past, so what should we really do with Star Fox itself? And I'm even one to blame too. I made a video saying, is Star Fox dead? And for good reason. I mean, everyone had Star Fox against the wall, but luckily things were about to change. After the booming success of the NES Classic, Nintendo most definitely had to follow up with a bang. And of course, the Super Nintendo Classic was the next console to get the mini treatment. Now, when the Super Nintendo Classic was announced, it came with a very special game, Star Fox 2. A game that was never released. PlayStation 1 and the N64 were both in development, so this game kind of took a back seat. But when it was released as an exclusive game on the Super Nintendo Classic, the need and want for Star Fox quickly began to rise. On June 11, 2018, Ubisoft held their yearly E3 press conference, and much like last year with the announcement of Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle, we're about to shock the gaming world once again. Ubisoft was set to unveil their newest project, Starlink Battle for Atlas, a toys-to-life concept, and they were including a certain Nintendo character, Fox McCloud himself, and Nintendo fans couldn't be happier. And after playing the game, I couldn't be happier either. You see, Starlink Battle for Atlas is everything Nintendo fans want. The next iteration in Star Fox, the next evolution of the franchise. Instead of retelling and rehashing old ideas, let's make brand new ones, and Starlink does that perfectly. Whether it's the seamless transition from planet to planet, or the brilliantly done dogfight battles, Starlink Battle for Atlas is much more than a game. It's a hope for Star Fox fans alike, and hopefully Nintendo recognizes this when they put out the next telling of Star Fox.